Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to show you how to update a driver on your computer. Now you might be thinking, why do I need to update a driver on my computer? Well, there's a few reasons why you might want to. For example, you might have seen while you're trying to run something, it might say your graphics driver or a driver of some description, depending on what you're doing, is out of date. Or you might just want to keep your system up to date in terms of, making sure everything's up to date on your computer, so you might want to update your graphics drivers or the rest of the drivers on your system. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. But you might be wondering, what is a driver? Well, it's also not the one that drives cars. So this sort of driver, basically, a driver is a piece of software that you put on a computer that will tell the operating system how to use the hardware. So if you installed one, so it wouldn't work. So if you install Windows 7 basically, and it didn't recognise a graphics driver, because sometimes Windows has built-in graphics drivers that you can install for some graphics cards. Not every single one, some. And if it doesn't have one built in, it won't install it. So it won't know how to use it to the full extent. Well, it will know how to use it in basic. So you might notice when you install Windows 7, for example, that the actual screen resolution is very wide and it's horrible and it's big and it's not like what it is on here. And the only way to do that is install the graphics driver, which you may have heard of, and that's basically the piece of software that tells Windows how to use that hardware. So it's better like this, and you can run error and things like that. It's the same with every device that you have on the computer, any hardware device. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to update the audio driver in this case. So I don't think I'll disappear. If you do hear me go off, and that's just because it's doing the audio, but this is a USB microphone and using here, so it should be okay. So to update them, we're going to go to the browser, so we're going to use Google Chrome. I'm going to show you two ways. We're going to do it in we're going to install it the wizard way, and we're going to do it the other way. How we're going to do that is we're just going to install the same one on top of another one. It doesn't really matter how you do it, but I'm going to show you. First of all, you need to navigate to your audio drivers website. So to find out what you actually have as an audio driver, so you know who manufactures your audio card, you're going to go to Start. You're going to right click Computer. You need to go to Properties, and you need to go to Device Manager, and then you're going to go to Sound, and you're going to look under here. Now this is for our graphics driver, so that will come with the graphics driver. That audio device. That'll be for for example, the HDMI port on the back of the external graphics card. And this is for this is the one we want to update. This is Realtek. So we know this is the one where you plug in headphones into the computer. This is the chip that runs all this. And as you can see, the driver is from the 29th of the 3rd, 2013. So we're going to update this. So I've had a look to make sure there is one available, and there is. So we're going to do that one, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So once you found out what it is, you're going to have to click. You can close that, or you can keep it open. It's up to you. And we're going to go to Realtek. We're just going to type Realtek in, and it should come up on Google like this. You click Realtek like that, and then click HD Audio Codec Driver. If you're doing a Realtek one, you can do it the same way as I'm doing here. Click I said the above, next. Now this is the bit where you're thinking, ooh, well, which one do I pick? Well, you've got the 64-bit and 32-bit Windows, and Vista 7 and 8 and 8.1. Now you're thinking to yourself, how do I know if it's 32-bit and how do I know if it's 64-bit? Well, if it's a 32-bit, you'll notice when you look in this bit here, it'll say 32-bit there, and it'll only have a maximum of 3.5GB RAM you can use out of the total RAM you have. So if you had 8 like this, you'd only be able to use 3.5GB out of it. That's how you'd know it's a 32-bit operating system, and it already said that here. But in this case, this is a 64-bit operating system. Now to get to this, the same way as it was before, you just right-click Computer and press Properties. That's a good way to do it, and it puts the page up. And you then so then you know what type of operating system you're using. So we're going to use a 64-bit driver here, so we need to find a suitable site for that one, for example, China Sang Alley, anyone really, doesn't matter. Mainly they say pick the one next to to where you're located. I'm in the UK, but I've tried that, it's quite slow, so I'm not going to go for that one. So once it's set, it'll connect to the server like it's doing a sending request. It's connecting to the server and it's going to request to download it like it's now. Now this could take some time, so I will be back once it has downloaded and I'll show you how to install it. Hello, now it's downloaded. We're going to install this driver. Now we're going to extract it because we're going to do 2 steps, and I hope the actual software is on here before I actually do it, because if not I'm going to look. Yes, it is, that's good. So we're going to extract it in 2 ways. We're going to do the wizard and we're going to do the other way. So I think we might do the other way first and the wizard afterwards, just so you know, because most people would do it the wizard way. Now we're going to do it the other way. So because sometimes you have to do it the other way because the wizard way doesn't automatically install it, because generally it looks at your operating system, thinks if that's okay it'll move on, and sometimes it's not happy with it and all the rest of it, while sometimes it can still install it. So even if it doesn't work, and sometimes even if it's not designed for the operating system, you can still sometimes install it and it'll actually work. But sometimes it doesn't. You've got to be careful, because sometimes you can get blue screen of death if you're not careful, because it's not designed for that specific operating system. But sometimes it works fine. It all depends on your hardware and what you're running with Windows, and what you're going to put on it and what you install and stuff like that. So we're going to do that first of all. We're going to extract it first, and to do that we're going to go to Start. We're going to go find the place it's being located, but we're going to actually do that an easy way. Actually, we're going to go on. If you're using Google Chrome, press and fold it, and it'll load it straight away. We can get rid of this now. We do no longer need that. And we're going to right click this. And I'm going to extract it to this through 7-zip. Once it's done like that, we're going to use this method here to install it the other way. Now this is basically what it looks like extracted. And to install all this new audio driver the other way, all the files are located in here. Now you might think, oh, there's a load of files in there that look at me like, no, nothing to me. It's a lot of gibberish to me. Well, that is mainly the HDX, probably most likely be the one we'll be picking to install this driver. As that is a setup information, and this is what the setup information files. If you find them in this way, so for example, if you downloaded the Realtek LAN driver, which I may go through in another video, it's the same method as this, but basically what happens is it gives you setup information files and a few of these little DLL files and sys files. Basically, you click that one in the other way around to install it. You click that setup information file and it will automatically detect what you're trying to install, and then it'll try and install it. And sometimes it most likely will. If it's designed for the operating system, it will, but sometimes it won't, depending if Windows doesn't like it and things like that. And that's when this is when blue screen deaths can occur. Mainly this way, because the wizard tries to stop you before things happen. So this is the more slightly risky way, but it's generally, if you get the right software for the right hardware, you should be fine, completely fine. You won't generally have any problems. So to do it the hard way, we're going to go and find the device manager again. We're going to start typing it in, device manager, using Google, not Google, if you're using Windows 7, sorry, and then go there and click it, the device manager. Now once this is loaded, we can get rid of that one. And once this is loaded, we need to find our audio driver, which is going to be under sound, video and game controllers. Find the Realtek one, right click it, update drive software. Now you're presented with 2 choices here: search automatically or browse my computer. Now browse my computer is the best option, because search automatically, that will go on, as it says, it will go on the internet to find the latest drive software. Generally it'll start to go online, and if you can't find online, it'll search your, but basically in Windows drivers folders, so it won't search your actual documents folders for it, it'll search its Windows driver store for it, and so it probably won't find it. So what we're going to do is we're going to press browse my computer for the driver software. This is what you should do anyway. So this is the locate and install driver software manually. This is the one we want. Click that, and then you need to find the one you want. So in this case, it's going to be in our downloads folder. That's where it was. And now you'll see the little folder that we made with 7-zip, which it's made into, and we need to go into Vista 64. And once we press OK, press next. Now this will generally find it. The other way I said, where basically select the setup information, it's if it doesn't find it. You can auto select it. Sometimes it doesn't find it, because this doesn't work always. So you press next. If it doesn't find it, we'll go the other way. But if it does, it'll search, and then it installs the drive software. Now this is a bit where I may get cut off, but I shouldn't do because this is a USB camera. But we'll see. And basically, you have to wait until it's installed, and it's now updating the driver software to the newest version. So you may see this may go out, this may go onto mute, and then come back on again. You might notice that in a minute. That's just because it's going through the installation process of the new audio driver, and that's completely normal. No need to worry. And afterwards, it's got a complete new audio driver. At this point, it won't just be putting setup information on the system. It will be putting sys files, DLL files, lots of other stuff. And now here it is, finished, completely finished. Drive software. It wants you to reboot the computer after this, and I recommend you do so before coming back. So that basically covers the video, really, on how to update a driver. It's not particularly difficult. All you need to do is do this. You just need to find, as I said, find the specific driver you want on the internet, download it to your computer, and then install it. This method, and we're going to do the other method now. Actually, just remembered. I was going to nearly cut the video off then. We're not doing the second video version. We're going to do the wizard version now. So we're going to close that. We're going to press no. In this case, I would say yes in your case, but here just for demonstration, we're going to press no. So we're going to close that, and we're going to use the wizard. So we're going to go to start. I'm going to go to computer and find the downloads folder, and we're going to double click on the wizard. Press yes. It may want to restart the computer, and if so, I will stop there and I'll start it again for you, and I'll show you what goes on next. So you press allow if the firewall stuff comes up, and this box will appear. You press next. I'll tell you what it's going to do. It's going to install the current Realtek audio driver. It's then going to, then you have to click next, and it'll reboot the system, and then it's going to run its reboot. It's going to install the Realtek audio driver system, audio on the system. It should do that, I hope, though, because the way this these users set up in my house, it may not install the way properly. It might, when you go onto the desktop, it may not install. But that's not a problem, because we can just carry on the session. If it doesn't do that for you, if you just have to uninstall this bit here, and it doesn't come back on afterwards, after it's uninstalled it, and start reinstalling it in the new driver when you turn the computer back on, after it's restarted, you can just rerun this wizard again and it'll install it. Fine. So we're first of all next, and now we're going to press next. Now I'm going to install the driver, the Realtek audio driver. Hope I don't disappear. Should be okay. It can take a few minutes to do this. Depending on the speed of the computer, obviously it'll take some time. This computer is not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. It's only a Pentium. It's not anything major, which some people might think, why are you using a Pentium for a recording computer? But it's just, that's all I've got at the moment. So once it's done all that, it's going to want us to restart the computer. So now I'm going to stop the video again at this point, and I'm going to pick you up when it wants to reinstall. So we're going to press finish to restart the computer, and I will see you in a minute. Hello, back again, and now it's restarted. So here it is. As soon as I logged on, this is what the screen appeared. This is the screen that appeared, and obviously this is what is going to appear. And it's now wanting to install it with the driver. This is the screen would appear if you were installing it, if your computer didn't have the driver already. So if you install Windows 7, generally it'll install a generic audio driver for the Realtek high definition audio. So it'll just say high definition audio device down here. So if you click that or hovered over it, it would say high definition audio device, like that. That'll be Windows 7's generic thingy. Now you might be thinking, well, that's fine, it works, but it's not the proper driver, is it really? So you're not going to get all the features and stuff like that if you want to change audio settings and stuff like that. And it's not as reliable as it's only the basic stripped out driver, so it's better to have the full driver. So as the screen's appeared, we're going to press next. It's now going to install the driver software, which won't take very long at all. It'll be done in a minute. So it's going to install the software again and all the new driver stuff. And probably in a minute it'll come up with a box saying installing the drivers. It should do. yeah, this is the way it's going to be installing the driver software. So you may notice down here it'll go off and it'll go to mute. Now that's at 67, so that's what generally happens when it's installed it. And see what goes happens. I should be here still, I should be talking. I am anyway. Should be, it's USB camera, so if you want. Take some time. So you can do this for any driver, so you can do this for AMD drivers, graphics drivers. You can run it through the setup, you can do the way I showed you. And once it's done, it wants it to start again. And basically that's the end of the video now, because this is all I need to show you, because it's done, finished now. Basically, after you press finish, the computer's going to come back to normal, and it's going to be as it was before. So I hope you enjoy watching my video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much. I will see you on another video. Thank you very much.